Hi, I've just purchased a very simple and quite a basic, but it's more than enough that I need, CAM program or computer aided manufacture. Very cheap, it's called Mesh Cam, it's a couple of $100, but basically it'll do all that I want as far as machining my billet uprights, spindles, knuckles, whatever you want to call them. But obviously I need to do some test pieces first, so I need a 3-inch thick piece of aluminum replica, so 15-inch diameter. I had them cut out in mate's CNC round table, so I've now got a 15-inch diameter, 3-inch thick dummy billet of MDF that I'm presently just sandwiched together and glued. So that'll be my dummy MDF billet that I can throw on the machine and hopefully build a full G-code program for the rear uprights. The front ones are slightly smaller diameter, but technically it's thicker, it's closer to 5 inches, so I need to glue a few more layers, as they say. I shall be starting to do the program hopefully the weekend. I've already done the first few machining ops. In generalised terms, obviously there's going to be quite a few ops to do the thing, and obviously it's double-sided as well, so you need to do both halves. They are quite different on both sides. So first op will be machine the top face to get the top face right. Second op will be to machine a rather large flat on here, which will be the actual finished flat face of the top of the upright. From that then I have a centre point and I have a flat surface. So pretty much I can set the machine up from that. So I can do the first op on multiple parts and then set the machine back up with that and put this up against 2 points that I know that I notice in line with the x-axis, bang up there, and Bob's your uncle, I can do the second part. How I'm going to hold this down, if you can imagine this, will be a cut off the part itself. There'll be 2 holes, one either side of the part, which basically the machine is kind of a triangular shape. These 2 holes will be how I mount it to the bed itself. So I shall drill a clearance hole for the thread size, which I think's, if I remember rightly, it's I'm pretty sure it's about 7/16 UNC. So these are the studs, and that's the you can't really see, light. There we go. That's the pull down kit. So I'll put 2 studs basically through here into the bed T-nuts and hold it down. Now those 2 bolts there will be precisely set out from the centre, and I'll then begin to set them from the mill, drill either side, and then I can bolt those down through there and have a flat surface. When I do the other side, I can flip it over. I'll counterbore this side so the head and the nut is put away, and when I spin it over, I'll counterbore the other side. So basically they won't be in the way of any machining parts. So they'll be sunken into this. When I machine the billet itself, I'll leave a very, very thin piece of alley for the last skin cut, just so that the part doesn't actually physically break out, and I'll have to break it out of it, but that'll be very, very, very minor. So I can mount it by 2 parts, put a flat on it, so I'm probably getting boring at this stage. So, but anyway, I'm starting to machine the rear uprights. I'll glue another one into it tomorrow. Highly likely I'm probably going to bugger something up, but that's the reason doing an MDF. It's cheap, it's peanuts, like $20 for a sheet, and I've made enough to do a couple of these so I can play around and see how this CAM program is going. I've machined a couple of little bits. Let's have a look. The original door hinge is like so. I laser cut out of steel and then just had all the laser cut holes as well, and I just countersunk them a little bit but it still bugs me. The original one of these that was designed was designed out of aluminium. Mr. Smith, I think, had them in his McLaren M6 replica, so he designed the hinge, which is a lovely piece of kit. So I'm going to make them now out of aluminium, which is how Steve originally envisioned, I think. So you can hear, this is the mesh cam. I've already done this one. You can see it's just kind of roughed out. Turn the camera off. Hang on. Oh, there we go, better. That's already been done in mesh cam, so that's already done this piece. Instead of having the holes like in the laser cut part, it'll be one piece that'll have one hole in the middle, close to that one there, but the rest of it will just be lightened and just removed out. But in aluminium, obviously, it goes 40% of the way to that. Weight's not so much a thing. The look of the billet's kind of nicer than a nickel-plated steel part, so as many billet parts as possible. So that was the first mesh cam program. Most of it did pretty well. Undercut here slightly, probably too much, there's a bit of stuck there, but that was my fault in the programming. So, but that's why you're doing MDF first. Prototype, get the G code working fine, and then go to billet. And pretty much then I can push the button on the billet and away you go. Okay, so there we are. Finally getting the CNC done, getting my uprights done. Obviously I already have my brakes, so I've got all my calipers, I've already got all my handbrake calipers and everything else, so pretty much I'm waiting now for the uprights so I can redo the wishbones, which I've altered slightly, and I can get all the car rolling again, actually put the wheels and tyres and brakes on, which would be kind of nice. Okay, it's been 7 minutes. Christ almighty, it's too long. Okay, speak to you later. Bye.